Good morning and welcome to the Hodge Facts. Sports and everything in between right here on 106.9, the country giant Hodge, Missy, and Josh, helping you kick off the holiday weekend. School is out for summer. Josh, Missy, how are we doing?
Excelente.
Yeah, very good, very good. I proved a point this morning. It's just like it's an axiom. It's like always true. If I think that I have time and I get out of routine, I'm late.
And you're pretty routinish anyway.
I'm overly routine, but I have to be. That's what I've learned.
What'd you do wrong?
Well, it's the first day of summer. School's out.
Mhm.
And so no one at my house needed to be delivered anywhere. Leanne had taken the day off because the kids didn't have school, so everybody was asleep when I was up and getting ready, and I was like, I've got plenty of time. And then next thing I know, I was like, whoop, I'm late. I made it here I'm by 7, but it was not as comfortable as I would like.
But you strolled in like nothing was like.
Oh, I'm calm as can be.
Yeah, cool as cucumbers.
Yeah,
A friend of mine
except
had
for it's 81 degrees in
Yeah,
there.
it is toasty. It is toasty. Getting you ready for summer.
I'm glad I have my body spray in my car. See?
Oh,
You're
Well,
welcome.
when I noticed it was going to be a little toasty, my first thought was, you won't be cold.
No,
Because that-
but I'm
because we
even
do
on the
know
spicy.
that-
that is the usual complaint.
I know, I'm
Right.
usually freezing.
Yeah.
But now it's spicy.
I don't know if we just have air conditioner issues or if they just decided to, be green. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see, but we'll maybe send a text out soon. So, maintenance or whatever.
Yes.
So, but a lot's going on. Josh mentioned that school is out for summer, but there's so much going on. And I sent the rundown, and Josh said, looks like a lot or jam packed. I don't remember what you.
Full show.
Full show, and there is. I mean, we've got McMurray baseball in the Super Regionals for the first time in school history. At the bottom of the hour, our Big Country My Town segment, we'll have Coach Josh Lee and a couple of players, one being Riley Hood, local Wiley kid that's had a great career at McMurray. He'll be on, and then at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, a little after, we'll have the Flying Bison report, which they started their season last night in Texarkana. Big win, long win, 16-15 last night, and we'll have Ryan Beatty, infielder for the Bison on. But there's so much going on. We talk about how football season could easily be a 3-hour show. Today, there is so much that you could talk about, and we're not a big NBA following show. We're just not. But there's a lot going on in the NBA with the NBA playoffs, the Knicks and the Pacers. For us that remember the Reggie Miller 1,000 points in 8 seconds, the choke thing, they're playing each other. The Knicks lost a big lead on Wednesday. They lost. Record of team that trailed by 9 points in final minute of fourth quarter or OT of a playoff game since 1999 was 0-1, 0-14-14, like 1,014.
Oh, okay.
And then the Pacers came back and won, down like 9 with less than a minute, found a way to win the game. And then anyway, so you got the NBA Finals going on. You got the Dallas Stars playing in the Stanley Cup Finals. They won the other night. Lead their series 1-0. It's a better time of sports season than I think most people think.
Yeah, well, I think we talked about that last week. There is so much. And one thing that you didn't mention, which I get it, but the WNBA, there's been a lot of drama this week.
Oh, what's in the rundown? Yeah.
Between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I mean, starting off with a bang. In every sports show, even yesterday, they were still talking about what happened. And sounds like we're going to talk about it because maybe Josh doesn't know what happened. I know
Play basketball?
I know he loves the WNBA, so
He can't say that a whole lot. He has a daughter that's
right, it's going to grow on him.
Oh, no, I've watched. Watch some of the fallout stuff.
So Caitlin Clark fouls Angel Reese really hard, and then it becomes a more than a hard foul issue.
Yeah.
that the media wants to make it, and I'm not going to make it about that.
Yeah.
You didn't like what you've gotten a taste of, and it was a problem.
I mean, I love season 2 Caitlin. Like, she
Yeah.
is like, y'all pushed me around last year. It ain't happening this year.
And she's back to, and I haven't seen their record. I know they started off with a big win against the
They won last
Sky.
night too.
And so they are starting that trend and that excitement for the WNBA is starting. Then again, you got the Stars. Oklahoma City wins last night in the NBA Western Conference Finals, 118 to 103. SGA was the MVP of the league. 38 points last night as they take a 2-0 lead over the T-Wolves. And I'll ask you this. I know you're not big NBA people, and I've kind of enjoyed watching some of it. Is it bad that Oklahoma City may be your NBA champion?
Yeah, I don't really like it, but I mean, it's like meh. It's just kind of a weird season, but yeah, it feels weird, but I don't.
I mean, it'd be the equivalent of like the Jaguars or the Tennessee Titans being in the mix to win a Super Bowl.
It seems pretty equivalent to me.
Yeah, I guess so. I hadn't really thought about it. I don't know. Not something that really crosses my mind as far as like where a team's from, other than, it's they're, the less traditional like powerhouse area, what you typically think of as like, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks, stuff like that. But.
And the Knicks are in it, but they're down a chance to go down 0-2. And so anyway, I just think it's interesting because I do remember when Jordan was done and you had Reggie and the Pacers going against the Knicks, it was entertaining basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And so then what's funny is you got Reggie Miller calling the game for TNT in the arena. So anyway, the NBA playoffs, hot and heavy if you're into that. Last week, going to golf, Scottie Scheffler wins his third major, wins the PGA Championship last week in easy form, was 11 under, and the next thing you know, the closest one to him was 6 under, just a dominating deal. And I put this in there, and of course, the Colonial happened, excited. Tracy and I are going tomorrow. Go Tom Kim, love to see Paul Tesoro tomorrow. But after the first round, the Colonial back shoots a 63, 7 under there. I put this in the rundown, and can you name a sneaky great that no one's talking enough about? And I should have been talking about enough. And why I meant that. Let me ask you, does that question make any sense?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it, and
it did make sense, even though it was worded wrong?
Yes,
okay.
I knew what you were trying to say.
Which that's a victory in itself. I'll mark that out.
I think for me, I was just thinking she does get some, and I'm going to talk about the WNBA this week. This has been literally been pretty much following on my feed. But Paige Beckers, yes, she's talked about, but man, she's like really, really good. And so she's one that I'm not saying she's like Caitlin Clark good, but she's better than I think people are talking about. And so I look for her to be a little bit more talked about. But she's got some Caitlin Clark tendencies where she'll just pull up right in front of you. And so she's been really kind of on my radar. But again, I've been watching a lot of highlights of the WNBA this week with all the drama.
That's well, you say that's somebody I don't know that I've ever heard that name before.
But you would know her. She's the girl that has like the braid that goes. You would know her if I showed you a picture. You'd be like, oh yeah, I remember like hearing about her last season or whatever.
This category, what I always think about is Rafael Palmeiro. He was a guy that obviously, notwithstanding the finger wag and Congress thing, that kind of ruined him forever. Just while he was playing and on the field, and the numbers that he put up were like, if you just want to go look up his baseball reference page and look at where he is all time, and like hits, doubles, RBIs, home runs, all the things, he's like in the top 10 in baseball history in all of them, and was never even really appreciated in the full sense when he played. And it was one of those things that I think it has sometimes to do with overlapping of careers, like Frank Thomas was the first baseman in the American League at the same time, so was Mark McGuire. Some people that had less overall, Frank Thomas obviously is a Hall of Famer, but didn't even put the same numbers up overall through their career, but had bigger seasons, kind of along the way. And it always kind of backburnered people. And you see people, I think, like that a lot. We even saw that a little bit with like Adrian Beltre in the middle of his career. Kind of no one really thought about it, talked about him much, and then suddenly it was like, oh, this guy's a Hall of Famer, which he got all the accolades with that and won a lot of Gold Gloves and everything. But anyway, that's who I think about.
But I just think about the reason I brought this up is what Scotty is doing right now. For the longest time, Jack was who he was. Tiger did what he did, and we thought he was going to surpass Jack. And then, unfortunately, has a few incidents off the golf course, from issues in the house to issues on his body, that slowed him down on that trajectory. Scotty is not any different and not accessible or exempt from having any injuries. I mean, he could have that stuff happen to him. But he's winning the number of tournaments he's winning. He has a chance, I think he's up 2 or 3 under today, or for the Colonial, to win 3 straight starts. He won at the Byron, he won PGA, and has a chance this weekend. And he's still pretty young. Can he make this? Could he become the greatest? Because we think right now it's Michael, LeBron, nobody talks about anybody else. It's Jack and Tiger, nobody talks about anything else. Can Scotty be that next? You know what? Because the greatest of all time for forever at quarterback was who, Josh? Who would you say was the greatest at quarterback up until the last 20 years?
Joe Montana.
It was Joe Montana. Joe Montana was the man. He won the 4 Super Bowls. Joe Montana. And then Tom Brady. Could we be seeing that in Scotty Scheffler? Because, again, what he is doing each and every week when he's in the tournament, and deep down, if he was even just a little bit better putter, I don't know if he'd ever lose.
He really is impressive to watch. We actually watched the PGA, and he just wasn't like missing. It was almost boring though, because I was like, can somebody get a little closer? Like, can we make this exciting? And it got exciting for a little bit, and then it was like, okay, yeah, it's definitely Scotty all the way. I don't know. Y'all know how I am. I like it to be close, whatever I'm watching, just because it's more intense and exciting. But I mean, he just was locked in.
Yeah, it's just so fun to watch. It'll be interesting to see. We've got more to talk about. The college football playoff has got it right. The Texas Rangers, and I'm going to ask Josh as we go break. The Texas Rangers, maybe the 90s Braves. Think on that. A Lawrence Hall headline report brought to you by Lawrence Hall Abilene. We'll be back right after this. Thoughts on that?
The rotation's very good. The other WNBA thing that I saw recently is that, and I've read one of the funniest things. The GM of the Phoenix whatever apparently had an affair with a player.
Oh yeah, Sophie.
But aren't they suing her?
Yeah, she's in a lawsuit.
Yeah,
She came out and she put a statement out saying that there was no truth to it.
Yeah, because some security guard is suing her and the GM for I guess putting him in a awkward situation.
Yeah.
But what was funny, I read the story on that, the first comment under the story was like, this is news to me. I didn't know there were 2 straight players in the WNBA.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
Somebody said that?
I read the story. The first comment was like, wow, this is news to me. I didn't know there were 2 straight players in the WNBA.
That's funny.
That has a chance to get them in trouble.
Yeah, that's so funny though. Well, and there's a huge where RG3 and
Oh yeah,
Ryan Clark.
Yes.
And
I'm
Ryan
telling y'all-
Clark's in the right, not RG3.
I'm telling y'all, it is everywhere. Still talking about it. And it happens.
And that is RG3's in the wrong there, and I'm not just saying that because Ryan Clark's still with ESPN.
It's just
He's
wild.
wrong.
Wild.
Because I went back and listened to what Ryan Clark said, and he was kind of defending African American women, and all he said was that RG3 is not thinking about them. And he basically said both of his marriages were to a white woman, but Ryan Clark came out and just said, "Hey, you were a bad teammate, one of the worst teammates I've ever had on the field and at ESPN."
They're definitely into it. It's just so crazy how many people are debating this whole situation.
Well, because they made it about race again.
Well, she better be glad that Boston got in front of her and she didn't get a punch off, because in the video she
Caitlin was about to throw her.
Angel, and Boston got in front of her. That's this whole debate, and that's what RG3's point is. When she got up, it was just like hatred in her eyes, like she was ready to hurt her. And in the video, you can tell her, look, she swings, and Boston gets in front of her, and then of course Caitlin
which is cool
strays
because
away.
Boston's standing up for Caitlin.
Right, but it's like, what? Like you were about to end your entire career, and that's his point, by taking a sucker punch to the back of Caitlin, because I mean, it's just pretty wild. But like, there is definitely some deep-rooted hate going on that. And that,
I was retired, why was that turned into a race thing?
Exactly.
of course, yeah.
And it's like, I watched the video from several different angles, and it's like,
Well, but she did it because Reese
fouled
her
the
teammate.
absolute crud out of her teammate.
Yes.
Like, she got her out of the way.
And Kate Clark said, I'm taking it up for my teammate.
Yeah.
And
that's
now,
good.
and now Angel Reese has got an uncontested layup because she just shoved the other person out of the lane.
Right.
Caitlin Clark then fouls her, and then they get all pissy. But then when Reese misses the free throws and everyone cheers that she misses the free throws, they said that was because they were racist. Like, no, you're watching your team and you want the other team to miss the free
Well,
throw.
he was laughing on the sidelines last year when Caitlin got the crap, that one girl freaking trucked her, and then Angel's on the sideline like, yeah, and it's like, oh, karma came, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it's just, oh, how the tables have turned.
But I just don't understand why in that whole thing, why anyone had to say it's because someone was a racist.
I know. I wish Angel was white. Like, I wish it was two white girls or even two white girls.
No,
that way they couldn't do that.
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge, sports life and everything in between. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. School is out. Graduations are happening tonight, some last week, tonight, tomorrow, all around the big country. So congratulations to the seniors and parents. And if you're an empty nester, maybe you're really excited. I don't know how you are with everything going on. But again, tons going on. We're time for our First Bank and Trust Texas Ranger MLB report. The MLB is happening, rocking and rolling. The Yankees playing well, the Mets playing well. The Rangers have become very much a elevator, escalator, take a couple steps up the standings, go back down. They lost 3 games. The best thing they got happening for them is the Chicago White Sox. And so lots going. But Josh, we went into break talking about how the Texas Rangers and the 90s Braves are very similar, and it's simply because of the pitching staff.
Yeah, the Rangers do have just the bottom starting 5 that is just putting up pretty incredible numbers. Jacob deGrom obviously is somebody that you expect that out of when he's healthy, and Nathan Eovaldi has become that also. But then, Tyler Mahle, we've talked about him before. What he's this season is just purely incredible. It's somebody that was gone missed a whole season with Tommy John. He really only had one good season before he had the Tommy John surgery, but does have a track record. And then, Jack Leiter is starting to look like that first round pick that everyone kind of hoped that he would. We got the opportunity to go to the game when Leiter pitched against Houston, who he went 6 2/3 without giving up a hit. in a game that we ultimately lost. The problem, obviously, is the offense just cannot seem to get it together enough to make good pitching stand up. And you know, the pitching staff can't give up any runs, or they're going to lose. So it's kind of rough as far as that goes. And as you mentioned, it's been an ebb and flow of like look pretty good, have a rough go of it, look pretty good, and then that bounces out to being a 500 team. But
and they had the game. They should have won Wednesday.
Yes,
they lose on a walk off, and then yesterday, you got to be able to score more than one run. I used to when I was coaching. I was like, hey, all right, hey, they scored. Hey, guys, we had to score one. They had to score one more run to win anyway. So let's just find a way to get two. Let's go. No, one's gonna be enough. If you can get one on the board against the Rangers, you have a really good chance of getting the victory. But we were talking about that. The Braves of the 90s Braves pitching staff. Tyler Mahle, Eovaldi, 4 and 5, and DeGrom is number 10 in ERA.
Yeah,
three of your pitchers are in the top 10 of giving up runs, basically,
right,
or holding people to it. And offensively, the Texas Rangers, when you look at that lineup, they kind of remind me when you were playing it, like you were about to play somebody and they got off the bus, or they would say that team looks really good getting off the bus.
Yeah,
that's what the Texas Rangers. That team looks really good getting off the private jet or coming out of the dugout, and then they go to hit, and they're like Serrano, and they need to, get hats for that.
Something I don't know. But yes, you mentioned that Eovaldi did pitch yesterday. He pitched 6 innings and gave up 1 run, and gets a loss.
Yeah.
So you have a game where your earned run average for the season goes down, and you still lose. It's really quite baffling. And we talked about it last week. They fired their hitting coach. They sent some guys down to the minors, and Jake Berger did go down to the minors and come back, and he's actually been hitting well since he did come back. Which because the Rangers had a game, I guess, which I don't remember which day it was, but they hit like 3 home runs in the game. They're all 3 solo home runs and lost 4-3.
Right.
Just get somebody on base. It's just very, very disappointing. But
going to play the Chicago White Sox.
Are going to play the White Sox.
So that's big. Tyler Mahle will be on the hill tonight in Chicago. Bad liberal ground. Playing.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was wondering when that was going to stop. No, three in Chicago, and it's one of those things that you can't ever. I guess hoping for a sweep is not usually something that you can do in baseball, even when you're playing a terrible team. But the Rangers really do need to roll up 3 in Chicago so they can go 3-3 on a road trip where they went to New York, and the Yankees are good. And the fact that the Rangers pitching staff controlled the Yankees offense as well as they did through that 3-game series, it's just it gives you hope that if the bats can kind of do something, or if they can figure out some way to generate some offense, that the team can go win games.
All right, I want to talk about 2 things real quick, and because I want to get Misty in on a question that's part of the Soto deal. Big news this week was that the Rangers signed possibly the next Shohei Ohtani. Probably won't be ready for a year or 2 up in the bigs, but how big is that?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I mean, because he is so young. I mean, they signed
18
him.
years old.
They signed him to
and
this.
It's already being labeled the next Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, that's a curse. You can't say that. It's because expectations like that are too much, and you never know how someone's going to respond to such things. So and I'm sure his internal trainers, handlers, parents, team are going to try to handle it. But you start listening to the media, you can get in your own dome. I haven't seen him play. Obviously, he's played high school baseball in Korea. I mean, he came here for the press conference and the signing, and then went back to finish high school.
Right.
So, I mean,
I
that's,
just saw that this past week.
no, it is cool. And I was, it's one of those things that was very, anytime you get one of the big prospects out of the, the Latin American countries, or you draft a guy that has some, a lot of, helium, I guess, if you would say, like it's, you look forward to what happens, but like you said, he's 18, so it's going to be a year would be like very
Fast.
accelerated. I mean, like, so it might be 2 or 3 years before you even see what it turns into, but
Well,
it's something to follow.
Well, one of the biggest contracts that signed, the biggest deals, was that Juan Soto went to the Mets. And this past week, the headline is, as Misty mentioned, you could read stuff going across the ticker was Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Well, another one that was going across was that Juan Soto was going to be talked to about needing to hustle out hits, hustle the first, and all those things. Is that the place? I mean, do you Mets are willing to do that to one of their studs?
Yeah, I mean, you're not exempt because you're a stud. I mean, to
You
me,
should be setting the example
yeah,
for
like
everybody else.
if you're lazy, then you're gonna get called out. I mean,
I like
so
it.
yeah, I really like it. Same thing with like going back to like Luca. Hey
Oh.
man, don't need you to get back in the gym. I mean,
Right.
yes, if I expect all of my other team to do this, like you said, set the example, and yeah, get your butt out there and hustle.
Well, and when you also have to just think about the context of all of this. He's playing for the Mets. He's making tons of money, so he's he is the central figure in a big market, like huge salary, team, and he's making a lot of money also. And so the New York media is historically just brutal, and they start asking questions of the manager about have you seen like his lack of hustle, and so the manager responds by saying that he's going to have a talk to him about it. And so I kind of feel like they was backed into a corner where he either had to defend the lack of hustle. He either had to defend the lack of hustle or make an excuse for it, or say that he was going to address it because he couldn't just avoid it and it not even be a bigger story than it already was. And Soto is one of those guys that he seems to be. And see, Manny Machado used to be like this, and Machado went to the Dodgers when traded from the Orioles, and kind of famously didn't run out a ground ball in a playoff game and caused a whole kind of thing. But Machado's he's matured, I guess, a little bit and become a very respected player. Kind of had that history of the same type of thing, just a lot of lackadaisicalness, a lot of kind of aloofness when things aren't going well. He doesn't look like he's trying hard, and I'm sure he is. But some people just kind of have that aura, and he's not hitting just extremely well recently. And then that makes the media dig more into it because the microscope with, like I said, being in New York, being paid a ton of money, and then it's like, oh, you don't try hard to get to first base when you hit a ground ball. I think it could be a learning moment that kind of come out of it the other side.
Do you think he needs to step it up?
Oh, yes, I mean, because I think you should, like Hodge said, you should want your superstar best player to be the guy that's putting the effort out there that shows everyone else, even though I am this superstar, even though I am very good, I still have to go hustle. I still have to make things work. I still want to at least give the appearance of the will to win, to try hard.
My biggest deal, and we got to go to break to bring on Coach Lee. And I've been thinking about this again. Who the greatest of all time is still always going to be the debate between Michael and LeBron. But what about Steph Curry? Steph Curry, you don't hear a whole lot of extracurricular out. He's playing hard. He's doing all these things. You don't hear any of the negative stuff on him. And to me, that's what superstars need to be. They need to be the ones that are setting the example, that are playing both ends of the floor, or are hustling out pop flies, hustling out ground balls, all those things. And especially that does not help. And you mentioned this about Dak, and I'll make it a break. When you're making the kind of money you're making, the hustle level better not ever be.
Well, just puts the target on your back for everybody to scrutinize.
Oh, 100%. When we come back, one of the things that's not being scrutinized is McMurray Warhawk baseball. They are in the Super Regional for the first time in school history. When we come back, our pest control phone line will light up with some Warhawks on the other end.
Put on our chair leg.
Hang on. All right. I'm gonna reset that.
I don't know what language you just spoke.
Do you need to pee?
No.
Okay, I was like.
Do you need to pee?
I thought we were ready. We're at, why did I say it like that?
I don't know. Control. Yeah, we're gonna have to drop the. We're gonna have to drop the First Bank and Trust Rangers report. Stop. Find a new sponsor. I'll work on that. Are you kidding me? I am not kidding you. What's wrong?
I'm not hearing anything right here.
No,
Hey, can you hear me? All right, I'm gonna try to put you on speaker and see. Can you hear me? Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me now? Man, why is that not coming through? How about now? Man, I can hear you, but it ain't coming through here. I just got 3 more seconds. What about now? Man, I can't hear it. I may have to call you on my cell phone. Hey, let me call you on my cell phone. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Misty, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Will you hear me? You'll swing your mic, see if it'll come to me. Yeah, keep going. All right, there we go. We should be good. Paige, do you have Riley with you too?
Yeah, I got Riley and Smoss.
All right, smaller. Okay, that's what's Smogma's first name?
Mike.
I don't know. All right, we got one more commercial, and then we'll hit it running.
All right, sounds good.
All right. What's up?
You doing?
Oh, we're good. All right, here we go. We're coming on. Welcome back to the Hodgepodge, sports, life, and everything in between right here on 106.9, the Country Giant. We hope everybody's doing fantastic. When you hear that, you know it's time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment. While we highlight a local player coach program today, we got all three, and not only a program, but a program that's making history today as they are playing in the Super Regional. Joining us on our Pest Patrol phone line, again, we appreciate Big Country Electric Co-op, but joining us on our Pest Patrol phone line is head coach of the McMurray Warhawk baseball team, Josh Lee, and players Riley Hood and Mike Smon. I hope I didn't get that last name wrong, but guys, appreciate y'all taking time this morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, no problem.
All right, so let's talk. It's history being made. You get the announcements. You got to do the whole, like anybody else, whether it's NCAA basketball, March Madness. Now we've got May Madness, where you're watching. You find out you get into the tournament. What was that like knowing that, Coach Lee, hey, we're getting a chance, let's see what happens?
That's all we needed. We see a chance. You know, we're a team that's just been grinders the whole season. We're looking for an opportunity, and we got it, and now we just got to play.
And so talk a little bit about getting into it. You didn't have a very just short road trip. Not that VIP Sports couldn't have got you out there, but you did not have a short road trip for the first round of the NCAA playoffs. Talk a little bit about how logistics getting ready for that to head out west.
You know, when we went to California last week, it's kind of crazy. We found out Monday that we're going to California, and we're on a bus Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. Headed to Dallas Fort Worth, and on 3 different flights out to California, and you know, good things happen. At that point, you know, you figure you might as well, if you're going to make the trip and it's going to be interesting, you might as well go and enjoy it, and to be able to enjoy it, you got to win. So our guys had that mentality, and we went and took care of business.
And again, joining Coach Lee on the Pest Patrol phone line, players Riley Hood and Michael Smonza, Lubbock Cooper product. Michael, you're a junior. Talk a little bit about the experience you're getting now. We always joke with high school baseball kids, they hope to be playing baseball after they graduate or out of school. School's out for summer. What's it like right now being on this run, making history for McMurray baseball?
It's awesome. I mean, Coach says all the time, this is the best time to be playing baseball. I mean, you're playing like one of the pros. You wake up, eat, sleep, baseball. And there's nothing more you can ask for, especially when you're prepping for playoff games that are always high stakes. It's a surreal experience.
Well, and again, joining him, Wiley product, not a you know, a lot of time left, but a familiar face and a great stash. Riley Hood, Riley, talk about what it's like making this run. You know, you've played other places, but you've kind of been one of those faces of McMurray baseball and getting to make this history. What's that like for you? Getting to continue to play baseball, as Michael said. There's a lot of people at home, a lot of people on vacation. You guys are still playing baseball.
Well, it's definitely, you know, being here for the past 3 years, I've kind of had to experience what it's like to lose. And that's what's fun about this team is it's a bunch of seniors. We have a bunch of seniors graduating with us this year. So we got that together. And we've seen things move on, do stuff that we've always wanted to do. And to finally put in the work and, you know, have it happen for us where we're actually being one of the teams that gets to move on, set records, and do things that's never been done before, and do it with our, you know, a coach who's also been, you know, through the grind with us, and, you know, not the previous years, but for us to be the group that finally turned it around, and I get to do it in my hometown, in front of my, you know, my friends and family. It's been an unbelievable experience that I will take with me forever, and I'll always remember.
Well, and Coach Lee, they talked about it. You know, you're making this history at a school that means a lot to you and your family, really, your brother and everything in between. What does it mean like to have made that turn? We talked a little bit about early on in the year, and even doing the baseball banquet, making that turn and starting to have that expectation, hitting where you want it to be.
You know, I mean, it means so much. You know, like you said, we love this place as a family, and I've watched these guys grind to what we're doing. These guys have entrusted me with, you know, their careers. They bought into what McMurray is and who we want to be. And I couldn't be more proud. You know, and watching it come to fruition is, you know, it's like Smart said, it's a little surreal, but at the same time, expected. You know, the work that these guys have put in, you know, the fruits of their labor are starting to come to fruition. So it's something that we can be proud of, something that we can be excited about. And, you know, I just keep telling them that it's a moment and I'm so excited for them. And I'm very, very proud of them. But more importantly, I'm excited for the opportunities that just keep presenting themselves in front of them.
Well, and one of those that present in front of you is a lot closer road trip down south along the Riverwalk. In San Antonio, you find yourself playing a familiar team that played earlier in the year. They got you 3 times in Trinity University. But how do you play that? How do you use that? And we'll ask all 3 of you this as a player and a coach. Coach Lee, how does that fuel you knowing, hey, we competed with them 5-6, 5-1, 2, 5-2, an opportunity to beat somebody to go on?
You know, somewhat finished business. You know, I think these guys have all understood that. And in all those games, ball games, they could have went our way. You know, we just weren't clean enough, and we didn't do what we needed to do in those moments. And when you play good teams, that happens. And so that's baseball. But at the end of the day, I know what we're capable of. I know what type of baseball that we're capable of playing. And to be honest with you, we're still tapping that. You know, we're really touching the surface of that. We're starting to put it all together. So I believe good things are still going to happen. And you know, that's a quality ball club, and you got to respect that, and we do. But at the end of the day, we know who we are, and we're confident in who we are.
So as a player, Smalls, a familiar foe in Trinity, what kind of fuel would you use or need? Like, they beat us 3 times in a row. That's there. But playing the baseball guys are playing right now, I would much rather be on the rise and peaking in May than I would be back in April and March.
Well, we've kind of had the last game 3 of that series on replay on our head. You know, we were up late in that 9th inning, and they put up a few runs to walk us off. And, you know, it's just been replaying of them dogpiling, even though it's their field. You know, that was a game that got away from us. So it's a team that we're familiar with because we played them before, but a team that's also unfamiliar with us because we haven't played our best baseball yet against them, and I think this will be a great series.
Riley, what's your thoughts on going into this series that first pitch tonight at 7 o'clock?
I just know it's going to be fun. You know, it's very exciting playing the super regional. Yeah, we know, but at the same time, we just got to prepare like it'd be anybody else. And we go out there and do what we do. I think we can be with anybody. So we just got to stick with us and go out there and do our job.
Hey, Coach Lee, would you agree on the rise and heading toward the peak in May is a lot better than any other time of the year?
No doubt. I think you said it best. I mean, we don't want to be too early. We got to keep it rolling. You got to be good enough early to be able to give yourself a chance late. There's no doubt. And so our guys have done that. And man, watching them play this last weekend in California was exciting. And you know, there's a good feeling knowing that, hey man, like we're still rolling. Here we go. You know.
Right. No, it's huge. And again, I appreciate you 3. I know y'all got down there yesterday and ran into Riley's parents last night and said, hey, Riley's going to be on the show in the morning. So I appreciate y'all taking the time. As Small says, you're traveling, waking up, eating, playing baseball, and repeat. And y'all go repeat, get 2 W's this weekend, and let's talk about the first time ever making it to the World Series.
Yes, sir. That was planned. Yes, sir.
All right.
We appreciate you, Ryan.
Appreciate y'all, and again, go take care of Trinity and let them have a hard time to enjoy the Riverwalk, losing to the Warhawks. So again, that's all right. That's Smiles and Riley Hood and Coach Josh Lee, the McMurray Warhawks, making history and continuing to try to write history in the history books today in San Antonio. When we come back, Misty will open up her bag, and who knows what it'll say. We'll be back right after this. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. No, we appreciate it. Thank you. You always do a great job. So
Sure will. Go get them.
Thanks, sir.
All right, see y'all. Did we play this one smarter today? No, we didn't.
I'm just ready.
I regret not having taken today off.
Yeah, you
'Cause
should have,
I
especially
should've.
since Leanne's
All,
home.
the whole family's at home, so I
Yeah.
like, just feel like, I just should have done it. And it's just, the other thing is, I don't think.
Can we prop the door open for the
Yeah, it's
wall?
hot, it got super hot in there, and that segment was, rough.
Through the stream?
Yeah, you could not, you would have had to like turn your, when you talked, it was like, I'm hot and I'm talking, and then it was like.
Well, I can amplify that.
But if you were just listening to the radio right then, it would have been very difficult to hear him talk. It wasn't garbled or hard to understand, it was just very low volume.
Look. I was like, I gotta do one of the funny ones. The best part is Hodge's face, because he's like, come on, like he's doing the dad thing.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, Bobber? And I'm like really getting into my pizza. Like, re-looking at this picture.
Pizza is good for you.
I'm like, I mean, my eyes are closed a little bit. Like, I'm
Yeah, just-
enjoying, look at this. I'm like enjoying this
Oh.
snack. And then Hodge is like, seriously? He's like, look, it's like, we're not eating yet. Ooh, I'm about to make, look, Josh is like, I'm about to make this mine.
I know, that's like.
That's amazing. It's so
That
funny.
picture is even more silly upon further inspection.
I know, same. I did not zoom in earlier when I posted it.
I need a needle, that's what I need. I need Lynn to get the.
Ooh,
Have you ever done that?
no, but it just like,
It is
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. I hate it.
like the
To
micro
do what?
needling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
needling, it's like, I hate it. It makes me like get all sweaty and nervous and like, but,
I'm sweaty and nervous right now.
Sweaty Betty.
but,
Should be.
but it works. Like it makes the pain just go away. Ugh.
I may try and go by. Where is Caddo Street? That's where the Bison office is.
Oh, it's over there like
By
Loop 322, like Copper Creek is like across the loop from there. Because I used to drive by there when I lived over.
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge Sports Live and everything in between. We appreciate the Warhawks, Coach Josh Lee, Riley Hood, Mike Smosna joining us to talk about making history in their upcoming series against Trinity, and hopefully they'll find a way to get it done. But now it's time, around this time, you know what we do, and that is open up.
Huge weekend coming up for Mulligan Sports Bar at Golf. Caleb Sutton is going to be bringing a set on Saturday starting around 8 o'clock. If you do not know who Caleb Sutton is, just a really talented young man. He's so good. So we love Caleb Sutton. And then also there is a disc golf tournament this weekend as well.
At Mulligan's?
Yes.
Where are the discs going?
Yeah, and so
In the hole or just hit the stick?
I mean, yeah, they've got a new course layout for it, and so golf course will be closed during the day until the disc golf tournament ends. The driving
When is
range
that?
will be open though.
Disc golf Saturday or Monday or when?
Tomorrow, so the 24th, starting at 9 a.m. So
I'll be at Mulligan's shortly after.
that's gonna be fun. I will be at Mulligan's because shout out to Branson King, who graduates tonight. And so his graduation party will be there, and so we will be there as well, celebrating with
I
him.
hope I send him to graduation but lost.
Yeah.
We're playing him today in the Mulligan
So
tournament.
mean.
No,
It's
no.
his graduation weekend.
Well, I hope he can enjoy the party with us.
But yeah,
Enjoy the party with a loss.
with the loss.
I thought that was just a wrestling segment. Branson, if you're listening right now. I'm just kidding.
All right, so with that being said, it is graduation weekend for a lot of schools in the big country. So we are going to do a graduation edition, starting with you can only pick one.
That's
You
not
know,
what you do anyway.
Graduates bring out some interesting characters, I'll just say. When we're talking about graduation etiquette, I don't know if y'all ever thought about this, but you know, there's some things that happen that you may or may not agree with. So we're going to go down a couple of lists, and we're going to start with you can only pick one.
Okay.
So here we go. Trip and face plant in front of everyone, or walk the stage with no pants under your gown.
I wouldn't know, nobody would know. I would totally be able. I'm not falling in front of everybody.
Okay, so you're going to risk, like, hopefully the wind doesn't, swoop in and
Yep,
show any of the.
I'll prepare for the win.
Oh,
Yep, no.
okay, so he's
Duct tape.
going no pants. Are you doing
Mhm.
tripping or no pants?
I mean, that's kind of a tough one because as Hobbs said, you could go no pants and maybe no one ever knows. But what are you wearing shoes?
I think shoes.
You have to wear
everything else
shoes
is
because if not,
maybe.
they're not going to let. You could find a way. Again, we're not encouraging any of this behavior, but
No.
you could pull off that feat. Ironically, but they're gonna make you wear shoes. I don't see people.
Okay.
Shoes and your Nike.
Well, no, you have a top. You said just no pants.
Well, underneath. You don't have anything underneath your gown, but just shoes. Are you going naked or are you tripping? It's a simple question.
It's not a simple question.
I agree with Josh.
He answered it in 2 seconds.
Because
He's like naked.
in today's time,
Well,
you could walk and nobody knows. But
What if the wind blows though? That's
it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
You're zipped up.
I don't
You just gotta make
know.
sure you zip up right.
Well,
West Texas wind
I
is a
was-
little wild.
No, you're.
I have this, this reminded me of a time that I did slip and fall in front of a bunch of people. And it was actually for like 8th grade talent show. And I was wearing a tuxedo and it had the slick shoes. And I slipped on the stairs, like going up to
Oh.
it was embarrassing. The shoes, they were slick. So having fallen in front of a crowd of people in a situation that I was, embarrassed by, I think I'll go with Hodge and go with just the gown.
The gown, okay.
It's easy because too many people are filming anyway. They're filming anyway. So if you trip and fall and bust it and wipe out, you're going viral. there is a chance, and no, the wind would
But
not.
if the wind hits, you're going viral too.
But it ain't happening. You're
Oh,
wrong.
That, like I say, the gowns are long enough. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
we're
not
moving on.
yeah.
Graduate with
She's
honors.
mad because we got it wrong.
Graduate with honors, but nobody claps for you. Or barely pass, but get the loudest cheer in the arena.
Oh,
that's Hodge experienced that already.
I'll take honors with nobody clapping.
Okay,
Same.
okay.
That's easy because
Give the most.
you can be successful with honors. You may not be so much successful as with applause.
Give the most viral speech ever for how bad it was, or be completely forgotten the second the ceremony ends.
Well, that's everybody. So we'll just
Forgotten.
forgotten.
Okay. Your diploma is signed by your mom as a prank, or it's spelled completely wrong and framed forever. Your name.
Spelled wrong, framed forever, great talking point.
I actually can't disagree with him on this. He's on a roll.
Okay. Sit next to your ex and their new partner, or sit behind the kid who bullied you and is now a motivational speaker.
Hmm.
That bullied you or you
That
bullied?
bullied you. He bullied you, and now he's a motivational speaker.
He's probably a motivational speaker because he realized he was a dude and not a nice kid.
A doo-doo?
Well, I was gonna say something else. So
Yep.
I
So you're
would listen
going
to him.
bully?
Yeah.
I'll go the opposite, but just to disagree.
Sit next to your ex. Let's see. Only be allowed to post one photo, your mid-ugly cry, a sweaty group shot where you look like a background extra.
I'm going background extra.
What was the other one?
Mid-ugly cry.
Oh, I'm a crier. Everybody knows that, so it wouldn't be different. I'm be an extra. Or be the crier.
Okay, so now we're gonna do, let's see, some maybe would you rather. Would you rather give a speech with your fly down the whole time, or have your mic cut out every 5 seconds?
Fly down to be behind the podium. Nobody would see.
Would
Yeah,
you have a podium?
He's like
He's
really
like
quick.
really, I know, how
It's
did
the
he did
quickest
not
he's
know
ever
about this
been.
segment?
Because the mic not working would drive me absolutely crazy. So
Well, if your fly's down and you don't realize it, you're just embarrassed later, but you still get your thing done.
Yeah.
Your speech.
yeah.
Would you
It's not
rather,
police academy.
would you rather give a graduation speech dressed as your school mascot, or have to sing your entire speech like a musical?
Well, it'd be hilarious to sing this
What was the
musical
first
speech,
one?
so I'm gonna go with musical.
Give a graduation speech dressed as your school mascot.
But would they be able to hear me with the big head on?
I don't know. It doesn't give me details like that.
I would probably do the last stuff.
I'm gonna sing.
Yeah, you can sing. You're in a contest.
45-minute
My mama said
graduation
it was
in
good.
pouring rain with no umbrella, or 100-degree heat.
I don't think there's anything wrong. All right, unless it's cold, then the rain is a problem. Just standing out in the rain, I think is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go rain. We're already
Man,
experiencing the 100-degree heat.
Yeah, it was 100
In the
degrees
city.
yesterday.
So you're
It's
going
like,
rain?
No, I'm talking about like right now.
yeah, well, I was about to say, it was 100 yesterday, and it didn't cool off in here like it did outside.
Yeah.
Storms blew through.
Would you rather have your grandma live stream your entire walk vertically, or have your dad yell, "That's my baby," mid-silence?
Not the one.
Yeah, we'll just do live stream. No one has to watch.
And would you rather someone else wear the exact same outfit under your gown, or be the only one who wore something weird and bold?
Well, I'm already done it naked, so I'm hoping.
Someone else is also naked.
He's already naked and afraid.
So
Well,
I'm hoping nobody else is
Obviously, that
in
one's
the
not.
same attire.
That one's not going to matter to men in general because it's like everyone is wearing like a button-down white shirt, you know, and
Or
like,
the same Peter Millar polo that we got at his altar.
well, yeah, that happens a lot.
What are y'all's thoughts on like graduation etiquette though? Like, should people, you've got the horns,
No.
you've got people
No,
hooping, hollering,
no.
and then so you think like golf clap, just every time somebody goes
I
across
don't think
stage?
you should buck wild with a graduation.
I think you only should if you're just like truly like shocked that they actually graduate. That's what it makes me think when like people like go crazy when they call their kid across. It was like one of two things. One, it's just like, man, I didn't think that kid was ever going to make it. Or, like maybe they're like the first one in the family to have
No.
reached such a place.
And so, no.
So I wouldn't do it, because if everyone's cheering because you're graduating, it's because they didn't expect you to do it.
So no cheering, okay, other etiquette topics. So obviously the kids can't do any react. They can't do any reactions, you know, like all these crazy kids are dancing, flipping, crazy behavior for the graduates. That's becoming more and more, you know,
That's because everyone wants to
popular,
be on TikTok.
and they want to go viral.
Right.
So.
Not a fan of it at all.
Yeah, me either.
Learn how to act. You
I
must
mean-
be an adult.
Yeah, well, exactly.
All right, well, congratulations to everybody that is graduating tonight, or those that graduated last week. Again, Misty mentioned Branson, part of the King family, graduated tonight from Cooper, and then the rest of them, of course, all across the big country. Congratulations to them. Enjoy your summer. Stay safe. Don't hoop and holler, but you can hoop and holler for an hour or two. We'll be back right after this.
My nephew graduated last night, Which I was-
Ollie and a bunch of them graduated last week.
which I was not a fan of a Thursday night celebration.
But a lot of people do it to knock it out so they don't interfere with the other ones. I don't blame them.
know. Well,
Trent
it's
did
just,
that last night.
oh, it's just hard because I'm like, they're in Lubbock. Well, there's no way we can, you know, do that on a weeknight.
Yeah,
So it
weeknight.
just makes it hard for the out-of-towners.
You're right. Weeknight for people that very, very much so.
I don't like it. Oh, there we go. A while ago, the cup was like right in front of you, but now it's good. It was literally like right
Oh.
in front of you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even pay attention to that sitting over there.
This is so cute with the little wings. Got the dove.
Oh, that's cool.
Look, it's cute.
Cute.
It's cute. So were you able to get
Oh, it's getting hotter in here, I
the
think.
shirts or the jerseys?
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they if you just have to run it there or what.
It's getting hot in here.
It really is. Like I'm never like this.
No, I'm kind of starting to get a little glisten on the forehead. Need my makeup touched up. Down that hard?
I'm good. Hey, Ryan, sorry, it's probably a early morning after last night's late game. Cool. All right, well, we're on commercial, and we're gonna have to do the same thing this with your phone, with your mic, because the phone is not.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so anyway, how do you say your last name? Baby? Okay. It's got you listed as infield, or you,
Okay.
anything specific? I knew they were. I knew they were on the road.
Which, yeah, I thought the other one was. Okay.
Turn the volume up on the phone. Okay.
So what we'll do. All right, so we're on commercial right now. And I'm trying to get the stats from last night, but I'm not seeing them like from last night's game. I know y'all won 16-15 and 8 innings, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is this your first, second year,
I believe we're in college.
with the Bison?
Yes, sir, it's my first year.
Okay. And where is Angelina College?
It is in Western Texas.
Okay.
And I'll be attending East Texas Baptist.
ETBU in the fall. So will you be a junior at ETBU?
Yes, sir.
heard Walter.
Walter?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Waller?
Oh, Waller, yes, sir. I guess I looked at it.
We are about 20 minutes out from Cypress, Texas. Kind of in the Eaton area.
Okay.
We're kind of small town over there. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we got, one more commercial and then we'll be back and we'll rock and roll.
Awesome.
Well, let's talk about last night, the grind, 16-15 win. Again, trying to find some stats that the game log, but when I click it, it goes back to a different year. 23-24. Oh, that's weird. So I don't have a good look at last night's game except box score. All right, here we go. We're back. We'll let you analyze it for us. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Hodge Facts Sports Live and everything. It's time for our Abilene Flying Bison, undefeated Abilene Flying Bison report. Our Pest Control phone line again. Pest Control, give them a call 673-6700, or you can text that number. They'll be able to get you anything that you need. But joining us on the Pest Control phone line is infielder, first-year player for the Abilene Flying Bison, Ryan Beatty. Ryan, appreciate you taking time this morning after a long night of baseball.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Glad to be on.
Again, y'all get the win last night. You kicked the season off with a 16-15 win. Something just remind people it was a baseball game. Not y'all didn't have to go for two to win it in football, but a lot of runs scored. And talk a little bit about the the ride down, everything getting going again. This year's your first year with the Flying Bison. Talk a little bit about the experience, and we'll dive into last night.
Yes, sir, for sure. They reached out to me, and I was like, man, I looked it up, and I saw everything, Bison. I was like, man, I just this is opportunity, and just kids to be able to be a part of this program and all the great people that the Bisons have in their organization. The owner's great, and general manager, very well-rounded guys. It's something I want to be a part of, for sure.
And again, talk a little bit about your baseball career. You finishing playing at Angelina College. Tell our folks a little bit about where Angelina College is, Waller, where you grew up, and what your plan is in the fall.
Yes, sir. My freshman year, I attended Wilson College, and I ended up transferring over to Angelina College, and with baseball and all that, you just want to be where you want to be, and that was a big part of what my decision was, and I'll be attending East Texas practice coming up here in the fall. Like I said, just kind of about where you want to be. Kind of a big Christian guy, and I had some other options that I could have probably attended, and coming down to East Texas Baptist, Jerry has got a great program right there, and he's doing well. They can have success, and I want to be part of that Christian atmosphere that East Texas Baptist is offering.
Well, and talk about the atmosphere with the Flying Bison. You got to meet a bunch of new guys this past week and went right to work going to the playing baseball. And of course, the Flying Bison, Mid-American League champions last year, regular season champs. What does it mean to be selected to play for those guys? And talk about last night's crazy 16-15 win. You had a lot of walks last night.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Like I said, the Bison are an awesome program, and again, just awesome. And just getting to roll right into it, it's pretty tough for sure. Coming off a full season, but getting out there and getting out there was awesome. It's a great club. It was a long one for sure. Like I said, we had, I think it was 13 or something like that, like the fourth or fifth inning. So it was back and forth, but getting the dub was awesome for sure.
Well, and talk about, you got two more games, I guess 3 more games there in Texarkana. Then, what are you looking forward to most about May 27th for us folks here in Abilene, getting to have that home opener, what it'll be like to play at Walt Diggers Field in front of the local and the home fans this coming Tuesday?
Like I
Well, again, it's a great atmosphere. There'll be 3 games next week, starting on Tuesday, May 27th. But you've got 3 more games there in Texarkana, and so how do you get yourself each day? Of course, I'll ask a question that our co-host Misty always likes to ask. What is your routine like? I know it's different. This is the first year playing this type of pro ball or semi-pro ball. What's it like getting ready for today? What will today look like for Ryan Beatty and the rest of the Bison?
Yes, sir. So we play again at 7, coming off for life for sure. I'll probably, get up, get some good food in, and, I do a little recovery. I wasn't much of a stretch guy there my last year. I started doing a lot more yoga. A lot of people make fun of me for it, but, just maybe a little bit of yoga, get a little blood flowing, maybe a little bit of ice, get ready to roll.
Well, again, you'll be ready to roll tonight, 7 o'clock, game 2. It's kind of like when we play golf. You can't birdie them all if you don't play the first one. And you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. And y'all did that last night. Again, tonight at 7 o'clock, the Bison again playing the Rhinos there in Texarkana. Ryan, I appreciate you taking time to join us on the Hot Track. I know it was a late night and an early morning for you. Best of luck tonight, and go get win number 2.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. You have a great day.
Appreciate it. Again, Ryan Beatty, the Abilene Flying Bison. Don't forget, Tuesday night, May 27th, the Flying Bison, a home opener. Be sure you're there. John and all those folks are going to have things ready for that Tuesday night. So be sure you're there for that. When we come back, NFL changes, and we get to congratulate some former guests of the Hot Track. We'll be back right after this. Man, I appreciate it, Ryan, for you taking the time this morning.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good game tonight. We'll see you soon at the Diamond. You too. See you. Woo! Let's go.
It's kind of crazy.
All right, Mike?
Yeah. Did you hire me blue or something?
Blue.
Tom Kim just made it from the fairway, made eagle. Yeah, Flying Bison are on the road.
Yeah.
I thought, Missy said, I thought they were coming here.
No, I told her, they're on the road. I mean, wouldn't be here.
Uh,
She thought Josh Lee was gonna be here.
they're in San Antonio.
Yeah,
They're all on the road.
just the phone stitch was not good, and you have 2 phones still. Because it's unhearable on the radio.
Well, it must have been hearable to somebody because Jeff Hood said, hey, man, it sounded great. Thanks for interviewing Riley.
All I know is that if it on the radio sounds like it's coming out of the internet feed, it's not. You would have to just turn the volume very high. Because you were just much louder than the phone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I could understand it. It was just, I feel like if I was driving in my pickup, I would have had a hard time hearing.
It is hot.
Gosh, I'm getting hotter.
This reminds me of back in the day when we were at downtown.
seem like a crazy person today. Maybe it's these energy drinks.
Just slamming drink.
I know, whenever I popped
Were
it,
you on number 2?
yeah. Clay goes, it literally sounded like you just popped open a beer. It was a very good pop. Yeah. On number 2.
I've got to get this thing to
Bless
stop.
your heart.
What are you doing?
I've got
What are you
some,
trying to get to stop?
He's
I've
hurting.
got,
He's-
I've got some issue with like neck to shoulder back here, and it makes this kind of like dull pain in the back of my arm that I feel like I can stretch out, but I can't find a place to stretch it. And I'm injured bad. I haven't slept well for 3 days because of it, but.
Like Josh is nervous about like, I didn't do it. I hope the principal doesn't get mad. So are you a fan of those? I mean, obviously you're
Yeah,
chugging them down.
yeah, big
Do
fan.
they taste good? Is there actually some energy that
Yeah,
is
big fan.
involved?
It says
Yeah, big fan. I'm big
Big
fan.
fan,
Big
big
fan.
fan.
I don't know. I'm gonna do some push-ups
Big
right now.
fan, big fan. Yeah, I'm going
Like,
crazy.
have you ever seen Horrible
Fight me.
Bosses? Huh? When they're cleaning, they knock over the cocaine, they all inhale it, they clean it up, they're cleaning the house real good.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think I'm gonna do some push-ups.
Yeah, that's me right now. I'm like, well, when I went to bed at 1 a.m., or it had to be after 1 a.m. I was just laying there and I was like, slowing, I could not turn my brain off. So I was like, I'm gonna have to pound 2 of these by 9 o'clock. So, you know, I'm almost there. Almost there. I just love their packaging too. It's so cute. I mean, I'm sure these are terrible for me, and I'm probably gonna die a slow and painful death one day. But you know, for today, it's YOLO.
Slow and terrible.
But I'm really hoping to get into heaven. So
What do you say?
like, then it'll be yes, victory. Hopefully, will be mine. That's my only goal in life. I just want to get to heaven. I guess my only goal is the biggest goal.
We are bringing the action to you. Hour number 2, appreciate Ryan Beatty from the Abilene Flying Bison, who are now 1-0 after a 16-15 win over Texarkana last night. Again, home opener, May 27th is coming Tuesday, 3-game series for them. And then on June 12th will be the Hodgeback night, which will be fun. It'll be a Prairie Dog night. Hodge, Misty, and Josh will be there. Looking forward to partnering with the Bison for that night. Of course, all season long, as we are the sports radio show, the official sports radio show of the Abilene Flying Bison.
Do you have a sign?
We'll get one.
Yeah, we need
We'll get a
that.
sign.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll get a
We
sign.
need to post that.
That is a true story.
Maybe just some graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got, maybe we need to do a photo shoot like we did with football for baseball.
Yes.
I'm not gonna vote for that, but
You haven't voted for a picture that we've ever done.
Our photo shoot last year was really good.
you're right. But I keep getting outvoted, so
Well,
And
maybe,
it's almost time to do another one.
I need to stack the board. I'm gonna and
well,
bring in
even if
some
you
more.
brought on one more co-host, you would still be tied.
Well, but a tie goes to the runner, so I wouldn't have to get my picture taken.
Misty would probably still win that.
Yes.
Well,
It's important, Joshua. We have to have pictures.
okay.
Yeah, it's very important.
We will be taking some in our vlogs, just saying.
Shirts. Prairie dog. Anyway, so, but again, Abilene Flying Bison tonight, 7 o'clock, try to go 2-0. And home opener on the 27th, June 12th will be Hodgeback night. A couple of things that have happened in the football world. Of course, the Colonial is happening still. A couple of headlines that we had earlier. Stars will try to get game 2 tonight. Edmonton Oilers, Scotty Shep battle. Tom Kim, those that were watching on Facebook Live heard me go, woo! He drained an eagle shot out of the way there, number 11 at Colonial. Tracy and I will be there tomorrow. Looking forward to
That's
that.
gonna be fun.
Oh, I love it.
That will be fun.
Love it.
I also just noticed the back of your show notes looks like something off of like a true crime drama or maybe A Beautiful Mind. I'm not sure what's going on. You've got arrows going across the different
Does he have a
things.
beautiful mind?
Oh, I mean, in some way, shape, or form. I
Oh,
mean,
it's beautiful.
science could investigate.
Beautifully dysfunctional.
Yeah, I would love to see the park right.
Yeah,
Like if they just had the shape. Okay.
like
is
Homer
where-
Simpson.
Some things are gonna be off the chart and some not.
This is where the weird texting.
Yeah.
This is, yeah,
It's like the baby chart entitled
Yes.
I don't know what.
of texting.
Is that good?
Bad.
No. Very bad.
But again, headlines again, the Colonial happening in Fort Worth. Pacers, Knicks, game 2 tonight. Oklahoma City wins last night at 118 to 103 to take a 2-game lead, 2-0 lead in that series. And again, the Rangers are going to be in Chicago. A couple of things I want to mention as we talk a little football. OTA started. Looks like there's some excitement in Dallas. Of course, they do a good job. Sean Pickens in his Cowboys gear, Micah Parsons being there, Brian Schottenheimer. It's kind of like anytime I see an older guy get like a head coaching job, I always think of Norman Dell, again, rest in peace, and Gene Hackman, off of Hoosiers. And when he walks out the dressing room, he says, "Welcome to Indiana basketball." Like it's such a big deal, basketball in Indiana. It's kind of like Texas high school football. And I think about Brian Schottenheimer, what he's got to be thinking when you look at across the other jobs that were filled in their 30, they're 38, they're low, they're not his age. And just wondering, what is it going to be like? They're starting to use the word energy has been said at OTAs, that energy is better, the culture is different. And so hopefully this will translate into great football.
How old is he?
I'm going to look that up in a minute.
Okay.
So I don't think he's 54. I think he's younger than that.
Well, I was gonna say, he's still not terribly old, but it is.
But in the grand schemes of hiring coaches nowadays, he's like ancient.
Well, yes, compared to what a lot of the movement has been, but I mean,
51 years old.
but still, it's like.
But does
You
that
could say he's paid dues.
But does that excite you that we've got? I know it does Misty, because Misty would have had Mountain Park going like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Does it excite you
Yes,
wondering,
yeah.
hey, can we be good? A lot of different people, and we're going to talk about one of those guys that think that.
He's 51.
He just said that. Thanks for repeating.
No, I totally missed that. I was Googling it.
So we'll reiterate. I believe he's
I
51.
think he's 51.
Mike McCarthy did not have energy. That is one thing. Like, it just seemed very low key, maybe.
Well,
I
if
don't
you
know,
think about it,
but-
the last two, Jason Garrett he had a very good class, but he wasn't real energetic or anything. Wasn't real.
No, and I always thought he was like talking to a cardboard box on TV, and then they gave him a job on TV, which is just kind of weird.
Yeah. So, but OTA started. I'm anxious to see how they do. A lot of talks about there's a running back that is not signed. Des Bryant endorsed him, so I don't know if that's good or bad. But Nick Chubb is available. I would be okay if you added Nick Chubb as a.
Well, we talked about
Or
it a little
J.K.
bit
Dobbins.
when we went over. I guess it was last week when we talked about the
record.
off-season grade and where we were going to go with the record. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago we talked about the off grade. Don't quote me. Doesn't matter. But I kind of mentioned it looked like we were just going running back by, stack a bunch of people in here and see who comes out on top.
Right.
There's not just a pure. Here's the starter.
Our running back depth chart looks like the Cleveland Browns quarterback chart. There's a lot.
There's a lot of them, and none of them are just like awe-inspiring and confident.
No,
But you never know who might have a breakout.
running back by committee was beneficial a couple years ago when Zeke was still running well and Tony Pollard.
Right.
Maybe that happens with Blue and Maffa and maybe they add Nick, Chubb.
So I would say I don't. There's a very low risk on the risk-reward scale to bring in another guy that can compete to just make that decision more obvious, or have more choices, whatever it might be. So I'm fine with bringing in anybody.
Yeah, same.
But other NFL news, unfortunately, some sad news was the passing of Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis, passed away this past week. Peyton Manning talked about how he kind of made Indianapolis a football town. Was interesting the story that he started as like a ball boy and then worked his way up to ending up being an owner. But Jim Irsay passed away this past week, the Colts owner. The other thing that came out was that the NFL is going to make a decision, or made the decision. A couple of things that went through this week. One, the tush push was missed by 2 votes from being banned. Still going to be able to do the tush push. It sounds like before long it will be gone, but it is gone. The other thing that they made a decision on, and I guess you got to make these decisions even though it's 3 years away, but in 2028, the NFL will allow, one of the things that's going to be in the Olympics in LA is flag football. And so I think one of the biggest things that's important for this, one, it shocks me that they did it, because do you not remember a few years ago when they had the little beach flag football or during Pro Bowl week, and like guys were getting hurt?
Yes, it's exactly. That's what I'm like. It's dumb. Like, don't let them play.
But I think the biggest thing and the biggest benefit for Roger Goodell in the NFL is that the superstars are on board. They brought Justin Jefferson in for a press conference to talk about how exciting it is to have a chance to play for your country, to win a gold medal like other people do. Golfers now do it. The NBA does it with their Olympic gold. And when we put together the players, we don't use college kids, we use the NBA. Who would you get quarterback, 2 receivers, a right and a center. Who would be your flag football team?
Okay, so we'll start with the quarterback.
Does the center get to, do they just snap the ball and stand there? What do they do?
I'm 100% not 100% sure on that. If it's like 6-man football, like if they're open,
Yeah.
keep thinking.
Okay.
Who are you taking at QB?
Josh Allen.
I mean, same, obvious. That was.
I mean,
an
I feel like
obvious choice.
I think.
Oh, who are you taking, Dak? Who are you taking?
I think 2 of the best options are either Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, because you think about how fast they are. Josh Allen isn't really that fast, so if he's got to take off and run, I mean.
Are you allowed to take off and run?
Oh yeah, Kyler Murray looks like a video game that you hit turbo and like he looks like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. He is very fast.
I'm still going with Josh Allen.
Or Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson
Yeah,
would be,
that'd be a good
Lamar
choice.
Jackson was the second one that I was thinking. Kyler Murray didn't cross my mind,
Okay.
but I think he would be very good in this scenario.
The center snaps the ball to the quarterback and then can run for a pass as a receiver.
Then I'm putting a,
Okay, so y'all are both going still Josh Allen?
Yes.
You change yours?
no, I'm not.
I'm going Kyler Murray. I thought about Lamar Jackson, but I think I'm going to go with, of course, Jaden Daniels would be a good thought.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Kyler Murray, because you have to.
Wide receivers, I'd go Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I have that. Let's see, who else? Jamar Chase. I'll go Jamar and CD.
Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. When I started thinking about receiver, I thought about CeeDee Lamb. I think he's still fast enough. Tyreek Hill would be one of mine.
Tyreek Hill was also a bad thought.
And gonna have to probably go Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. So far, I'm fast.
You are very fast.
Running back.
I gotta go with Saquon or Bijan. I'm gonna end in the ons. Either one. But
No.
based on recent hype and performance, I'll go Saquon.
Saquon, okay.
See, I'm trying to think because obviously we're talking flag football. Saquon does have moves, so you'd want somebody who was generally
Agile.
a receiver kind of first running back, and I'm really kind of stumped currently as to who I would pick for that category.
Derrick Henry's a thought because they always make business decisions anyway on tackling him, and they have pads on. would it still be even more of a business decision to not
Well, no,
be
you
taken
just-
out by a fine?
You sidestep and reach for a flag. I mean, you don't have to get run over. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no risk involved, but, I want somebody who's like shifty and like, I mean, I might even go Deuce Vaughn from the Cowboys, that type of style, or somebody that's like super, like, just shifty.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, we'll go with, Turpin.
Oh, yeah,
He plays all over the place. He's gonna be my running back.
yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Say Turpin.
Who would you pick?
I agree with John. He might have taken the best
I
one.
didn't even think of Turpin.
Man, you start looking around at people that have, Pacheco wouldn't be bad.
Well, he was actually one that I was thinking. I couldn't think of how you said his name, but I was like the little fast guy from Kansas City. I couldn't remember his name, but yeah.
Well, he's just now eligible. He's with the Raiders. What about Jinky?
I'd have to see him, like see how he like, because there's a big difference in playing for
Yeah.
Boise versus against other NFL talent.
Was that his name? Scadaboo?
Yeah.
You talk about shifty.
Jamar Gibbs is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, he would be a good one.
All right, so who would your center be? Center is eligible to play.
I'm just gonna get a tight end and put him at center.
So would you Jake Ferguson, or are you taking George Kittle?
No, I'd be definitely on like the Kittle bandwagon.
Yes. I like Kittle too.
Here's mine.
Humphrey, Creed Humphrey.
Here's mine, and it may be weird. He's not. What about Micah Parsons?
Well, I mean, he does have speed. Never seen him like run routes and catch a ball.
I mean, I don't know if he's got a pick six of this. We can look that up. But Micah Parsons seems like he would be a fun. He's not going to let anybody touch their quarterback.
I like that pick.
Yeah,
I can get on board with
I
that.
think I'm going Micah Parsons. So flag football's coming up, and again, that'll be a lot of fun. OTAs starting, and before you know it, football will be here. When we come back, speaking of football, we're going to congratulate people and talk about the college football people have made a decision. We're going to see if Josh and Misty agree with it. We'll be back right after. What?
It's cooler out here.
Is it?
Yeah, it is quite warm. Corey texted and he thinks Shoddy is going to be really good, and he would not be surprised if he wins Coach of the Year next year.
That's bold.
Very, very bold. I just really hope that we're good. I really want a deep playoff run.
Two and one.
Yeah, they won last night. It was a close game. It's just crazy how big, it's already gotten with the season just getting started with Angel and her.
Which I think it's huge that season 2 is still good, still drawing people in.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, and obviously this drama is only gonna help. This is a funny video, you need to watch it. Says Angel Reese wants a pay raise or else.
missing all those shots.
Every single one of them.
And she had.
Like, good grief. Every single one of them. Like, yeah, your rebounds are out of control because they're your own shots. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, there's so much better out there. It's not even like it's cold out there.
Look at this video. She wants a raise.
Hey, can you prop that door with this chair?
And
She's missing.
like
missing,
6 in a row. Like 6 in a row. True.
Can you prop, would it help if you prop it
Yeah.
open with
Well,
the
I'm
chair?
just afraid what we might hear if,
Oh.
like, people walking by just
Is
being.
there one?
Well, every so often, they push those carts by that are super loud and, like.
Again, shocker.
No, when you said, something about thing, it made me
I know.
laugh. I've got our golf match at 10 at Mulligan's. I don't know if anybody's wanting to do lunch, but my vote will be there.
Okay, I mean, I want to do something. This shoulder thing is like, it's achy.
How did you hurt it?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't do like any singular thing. I've been practicing baseball with the all-star team for 4 straight days. I think I might have just like been playing, been doing
At least you have a wife that is.
I know I need it, but get it over with.
I got like nervous. I didn't know where you were. I was like, is he gonna scare me?
I'm scared.
He is scary.
People look at me.
I'm scared.
He's hideous.
Kill the beast. I went to Beauty and the Beast. Did y'all watch like Disney movies? Did guys watch Disney movies growing up?
I mean,
Like,
I used to love the Robin Hood Disney cartoon.
did you have a crush on any of the Disney princesses?
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge Sports Live and everything in between. That's a clip from the Pat McAfee show with Heather Dennett from ESPN. Again, appreciate you joining us this morning. But Pat has Heather's on, not because college football is in session or anything like that, but the big announcement this past week from the CFP committee was to, when they decide on the 12 teams, the 12 teams will be ranked according to the bracket, according to where they're ranked, instead of just the conference championship being an automatic bye. I think they did it right. I think this is the way it should have been. Do you agree with the way this worked out?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I didn't like the format the way it was last year, just because, that's, I get it on one hand, because I think you should be rewarded for winning your conference, but at the same time, if there's some conferences that are clearly not in the same caliber, it kind of messes with that. So I agree with that.
Well, and if you think about it last year, the conference champions that got the bye, I mean, Arizona State was the only one that competed in their game.
Right.
But there's a chance it really puts more emphasis. The two dominating conferences are the SEC and the Big Ten. And if it would have done last year, the top 4 would have been Oregon number 1, if they'd have bracketed it the way they're doing it now. Oregon would have been number 1, Georgia 2, Texas 3, and Penn State 4. which that's two Big Ten, two SECs. I guess the hard part that I agree with that. I agree with the best teams should get the bye, not just because. And again, they messed up. Boise State shouldn't get the bye.
No, that Boise State was the one that I clearly was like, this is not like, I don't understand that. I mean, you win the Big Ten, you win the SEC, the Big 12, you know, like maybe it's not to that level, but still much better than some of the other conferences, you know. So it's just that was.
I just wonder what it's going to do to the Big 12. I mean, you're still going to win, you're still going to get in, but there's a chance. I mean, can the Big 12 be dominated enough to get one of those byes? I mean, do we have that in that conference?
Well, I mean, the way that college sports is now, I couldn't tell you, because it seems like there's so much turnaround, change from one year to the next with teams that I would not be surprised if some Big 12 team puts together a good enough season to be like at least in that conversation. But I don't even know that. That's the one thing that I also the I guess counter argument is all this does is continue to cement this ranking that you start the season in some arbitrary way ranking teams. No one's played a game. You're just looking at paper and who returned from last year, and then you're ranking the top 25. And then it becomes incestuous because
it's almost like you get a head start.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It becomes incestuous because if you get ranked number 5 at the beginning of the year because your quarterback's coming back from last year and you're in the SEC, so you automatically get a bonus points in the ranking pool, and then you end up going 6 and 5. You know, maybe you fall out of the top 25 after a few weeks, but like you hang out there for a while in the top 25. Meanwhile, teams that beat you, well, because you were ranked number 5, then they hop up in the rankings. You see what I'm saying? And so you might beat number 5 in the nation week 1. Number 5 in the nation is not even in the top 20 by the end of the year, but you jumped up into the top 10 because you beat number 5. But then that team might not beat anybody else.
I think the biggest deal is that it gives those teams.
Sorry, I got loud.
That's why the pre-ranking stuff we talked about.
That's what I'm saying. Basically, your whole football season is based off of an arbitrary vote of the top 25 teams before anyone has touched the field.
You know, a few games in, we literally had the same discussion last year. Same exact discussion. The pre-ranking is.
And because the SEC and now the Big Ten is in that same conversation, will get more than half their teams ranked in the top 25 to start the year. It becomes a situation where it is impossible to not have an SEC top-loaded, end of the year rankings, just because they all started ranked high.
Well, in their defense, because that's the system, it's kind of like, we didn't talk about this. Brock Purdy got signed. He signed a big deal, $53 million.
He did sign a big deal.
$53 million a year. Rumor was in the talk that it started at $65 million a year, and somebody realized, sorry, buddy, you can't be that, but $53 million. But it's kind of like getting mad that he's getting that much money. His timing is perfect for him on that money wise. For the SEC, in their defense, Texas, Georgia. I mean, now that you've added Texas, Georgia, Alabama, can they bounce back? I mean, we're going to get season 2. No Saban. What does that look like? Those two conferences have earned those spots, have earned those reputations, but because I'm looking right now, yes, Arizona State, they were the talk of the town last year. But are they going to repeat that? Are they going to create something?
But even Arizona State, I think goes to my argument that they did what they did because they weren't even ranked in the top half.
Oh, they were picked to finish at the end
of the Big 12, much less be a playoff team. But if I was in charge of all things college football, the first rule I would implement is that no rankings would come out until week 3. None. You play 2 games, and then we vote for the rankings for the first time.
And I think the reason you can really do that is college football, because the 12-team playoff has helped, but they've done a really good job of pairing some stud programs in those first couple weeks of football that cross conferences, whether it be Texas and Michigan last year or Ohio State and Texas, or I'll look at some of those here in a minute on the beginning. Because they're doing that now you can show some, all right, I won this game. So Texas lose to, let's say Texas Ohio State. If it's a close game, you know what? Both those guys have earned it. But we've also seen where coming off a year where a team was hot, that year 2, Michigan, for example, not as good, gets blown out. All right,
I think Michigan is the perfect example of why I don't like this system. Texas beating Michigan propelled Texas to even be able to have another loss and still end up ranked high.
I mean, because that's exactly the way it starts on August 30th. It's Texas at Ohio State.
Yes, but and both of those will be ranked very high. And I'm not even saying they shouldn't be, but
we're just saying that system needs to go away.
Well, and it's not going to go away, and it's all not going to go away because of money and marketing. It's that's the way that it's going to be, because whatever TV, broadcast group has the rights to those games, they want to be able to market and advertise. It's number 1 versus number 3, so it's that's the way that it's going to be. But I just think it sets up a system where it's automatically biased towards the conferences that are historically good. And I'm not saying they haven't earned it, Hodge, but I don't think they've earned it as much as you think they have. Because I think their rankings at the end of the year are why you think they've earned it. But I think if you step back and look, the rankings are incestuous. The rankings just build off of beating rankings.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you look at the first week, already mentioned Texas and Ohio State. You got Alabama at Florida State, where Florida State's kind of taking a backseat. Clemson, LSU, Notre Dame, Miami. I mean, you've got some really good games that first week. Auburn's coming to Baylor week 1, which for Baylor is huge. They're one of those that could earn something by beating that SEC team. No, it's not a great Auburn team, or that we know that they were back in the day.
You never know, because after he could have been transferred in from somewhere else.
But you look at what I just think that's huge. I'll be honest with you, I've not followed Baylor enough to know that they opened with Auburn, but that first week or so, I agree. I think that's a great idea.
And I do think that is one of the other side benefits of the way that the things have changed, and the automatic bids to the playoff has made it to where there's less disincentive to playing some hard games in the preseason. Because used to there was very strong incentive if you were in Alabama, back when Alabama was just the steamroller, to not play anyone tough in a preseason game.
No, because you knew, well, in their defense, you were going to get Georgia, you were going to get them.
No, you were going to have some tough.
You didn't play outside.
You were going to have some tough games, so it's not like your schedule was cupcake overall.
But it wasn't outside of conference.
It wasn't outside of conference. And like I said, the incentive's there. I understand it. If I was in charge of those programs, that's how I'd be doing it. Because if you play a tough game and lose, it can hurt you. If you play a tough game and win, it's not going to help you any more than beating Georgia or Tennessee or any of the myriad of other, any given year SEC teams. But you play I don't know, whatever school, Southern Eastern Alabama State University. Yeah.
Right. So Monday, September 1st, TCU travels to North Carolina. Did anybody see the news out of North Carolina?
I did not.
Belichick and the 24-year-old
engaged. I did.
Took it to the next level. Transfer portal not happening. She
only 50 years apart.
Hey, love matters. What love matters? When we come back, we'll see you into the weekend.
I could never.
Does love matter or money?
I could never.
No matter how much money.
Even for instant millionaire?
No, 50 years, like, I actually
I-
enjoy
that-
companionship.
That means you only have to put up with it for a few years and you're super
I could
loaded.
not, like, that is so.
Just put up
disgusting.
with it for a few years, then you're super loaded.
Like,
Oh, come on.
I just,
You can marry for money.
I mean, I don't know. Why get married? Let's just keep it off the books, you know? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could,
If you keep it off the books, you don't get that.
well, I mean,
probate.
we can negotiate a few things, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I can be in relations with someone 50 years older than me. That's disgusting. So, let's flip the script.
No.
Are you getting down with Granny? No. Thank you. So, see, you know, you don't really see that happening. You don't really see it flip. It's always the women that are the gold diggers. And they're going
No,
after the
I
gold.
have
Oh,
seen it.
you don't think there are, that would be a great.
There
non-
is. There
I
is.
have-
There
Think
are
about it.
some, there are guys out there that
Well, there
got
are.
the cougar or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I mean, I would say Granny, but I'm just saying I can't do Grandpa. I'd like to, you know, snuggles
It's
and
like
stuff.
it's like that Seinfeld episode. Elaine's dating this 60-year-old or something, 63. She's trying to justify it. He goes, very kind of similar to what Misty just said. And she goes, he's vibrant.
Yeah.
And then she asked Jerry, could you do that? He goes, she'd have to be very vibrant.
There's just no way, man. Just no way. Yeah. But it is just a funny take because you don't see it's not that way. It's fun on the other.
I have seen it.
You have, I mean, it's out there. It's
Yeah.
just not near as much as a younger woman with an older man.
And I don't know that I've ever seen a 50-year difference, but I've seen some solid like 10, 15-year, you know, like,
That I can get around,
Right.
depending on who.
but then
it is.
you're still kind of like, yeah, I mean, I guess.
10 years is probably my max. I don't know that I could. 15 if, you know, the bills are really rolling in.
Yeah.
But 50 years or 48 years?
Welcome back to the hot scratch. As Misty's trying to negotiate down an age that she can be content with. Latest
You
news is Bill
can't pay me to
Belichick.
be with Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
He's not my vibe.
Welcome back to the hot scratch. As we get ready to send to.
You're too old for him anyway.
He would never
That
go.
is actually a true story. You are way too.
I'm a grandma compared to his new boo.
But again, we appreciate you joining us. Get ready. Memorial Day weekend, bankers off, everybody off on Monday. That's one of the things about Memorial Day. Again, thank you to those and for those that get confused. Memorial Day is for those that fought and gave the ultimate sacrifice that we remember, is why you're getting that day off, and still have the freedom that we have. But Memorial Day is different than like whatever Columbus Day is now called, or President's Day. Like, not everybody gets off, just you bankers and city officials and federal employees, I guess, whatever, get that off.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to accidentally go to the bank on Monday. But they do on the Mondays where they're still working and nobody else is, like especially the bankers.
Oh, you get funny interactions from the people that are like upset that you have the day off. You know, like,
Been rocking this way for many moons.
yeah, it's like, I didn't make the decision.
Sorry,
I was
Barry.
just,
Yeah.
And I'm not disappointed I'm off.
Yeah.
So anyway, lots going on. Again, the NBA conference finals are happening. Indiana and New York will play tonight. Oklahoma City already has a 2-0 lead. The Colonial's happening. The Rangers are heading to Chicago to try to stop the skid of 3 straight losses.
Four lost to the Astros and another heartbreaker.
Yeah. So
The bullpen's terrible. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So, what was it? Anyway, so a little recap on the show. What takeaways do you have? I know one that you brought up a bunch, and I agree with Misty. What show recap?
Oh, yeah, I forgot we're doing this. Yeah, I mean,
Hey, just real quick. Brian Schottenheimer, 51 years old.
he is 51? What?
Breaking news.
Breaking news. I mean, The Bill Belichick and his boo getting engaged is gross. But I mean, I gotta go with the WNBA this week. Like literally, it's been all over my feed every single day. The fact that we're still talking about it and it's Friday, it's just normally it's a one and done. But I'm telling you, every show they're probably talking about it today.
But I also think you mentioned Paige Buckner, the stars that got drafted this year, adding to the rosters and adding to the stardom,
Yeah,
if you
she's
will,
really good.
for the WNBA, I think is huge. But you're exactly right. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. The WNBA is not much different than the NFL. They knew who to put in the first game of the year, kick this thing off with those two, and it paid off.
Marketing.
At its best, yes, at its best. Josh, what were your thoughts?
Well, we talked about baseball quite a bit, but there's actually something that I wanted to mention just for our listeners, because I know they care very much. The baseball team, the 8U baseball team that the boys play on, that the Hodgepack sponsors, so we've got the Jim Ned Bears. We were able to last Saturday win our final game of the season and score enough runs to break the tie for for second place in the league, which was settled by run differential. So we had to. And this is the scoreboard watching thing that I was doing last Saturday that I wasn't really like keying everybody in on, but we needed a certain team to lose and lose by enough, and us to win by enough that we would come in second place. And so I coached. Coach maybe a little more aggressive on the base paths than I should have in the situation that we were in as far as how what the score was at the time. So I wasn't trying to run up the score because I needed to just run up the score, but I needed it to win the tie.
But he ran up the score.
But I still ran.
What I just heard.
Yeah.
Had to break the tiebreaker.
So for all those eight.
So we got rings for the Hodgepack.
800.
Yeah, 8U baseball.
8U baseball for those of you that got your
Serious
pay.
business.
Oh, yeah.
And and we do want a little PSA for those that were not able to sleep that night after you got run ruled and the score ran up on you. We apologize for having to try to get your kids to go to bed. But All Stars also, Luke and Barry.
Oh yeah, Luke and Barry made the All-Star team. We've been practicing this week. It's been fun, busy.
Yeah, Josh working on his shoulder. He's been pacing.
Yeah,
those that were watching,
having multiple practices a week has been detrimental to me physically, but I think the boys are responding fine to it.
That's good, as long as they're there for it. I took a lot of things. One, the Flying Bison year number 2 kicking off. Appreciate Ryan Beatty joining us. They won last night again, play again tonight to finish out. They've got not finished out, but they got a 4-game series there in Texarkana. Home opener May 27th. And what Josh Lee's doing at McMurray, just a great job.
That is great.
Hopefully they find a way to get 2 wins this weekend. I want to end with this. Congratulations to 2 guests on the show, friends of the show, so stay in contact. But Laura Rutledge, Dan Orlowski, and the cast of NFL Live won a Sports Emmy for Best Show, Best Weekly Show, no, Daily Show. And so congratulations to Laura, Dan Orlowski, and those crew for winning that Sports Emmy. I was a little disappointed. Like they did a great job on their part. It was awesome. But like the people that put that show on, there needs to be a little more oomph. And I want to try to be a seat filler like there was for the Tonys.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a lot of seats that were open, and so I'm going to try to do that.
I mean, see if you can get us some tickets.
Yeah,
You and Laura are homies, so hook it up.
That is the plan. Hey, don't forget next week, Bison open up. More great music. We're going to get everything rolling. Have a great weekend. Thank you again for those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. We'll see you next week for more Hot Sports Live and everything in between.
All right.